The purpose of having this today's session is basically to introduce this course. It is called Research Methodology, and this particular course is part of your compulsory courses under the Master of Innovation and Engineering Design. So, since majority of you are already graduated probably more than a few years, okay, even though there are also new fresh graduate in our program, like Mr. Arif just now, but never mind, it is quite significant and relevant where it is kind of like refreshing in terms of because all of you, when you conducted your bachelor degree program, Bachelor of Engineering program, you probably has gone through what we call it as the final year project, right? Individual final year project. At the same time, you may already conducted group research project. So this particular course, the research methodology, it is beneficial for your study in this particular program, the Master Innovation and Engineering Design. At the same time, you can also use it when as a course to be exempted. Let's say you decide to continue your PhD in UPM. I believe in other universities as well, if you have already taken this particular course at the master level, you may get an exemption for your courses in your PhD program later on. Okay, in terms of the introduction to this particular course, so this course covers research on best practices such as research methodology, the design, research design, as well as engineering ethics, some tips of thesis writing, as well as oral presentation. So basically, even though you can read through or refer to other sources online, as well as referring to textbooks, I will introduce to you best practices that we can adopt, as well as you can use it for your dissertation, as well as your research journey in this particular program. In terms of the evaluation or the assessment, the course being divided as usual, coursework 60%, and the final examination another 40%. Right. Basically, there are 10 topics to be covered in these 14 weeks of lecture. The first one is on overview of research methodologies. So in this particular topic, we will introduce to you what is research all about. Who will conduct the research? Where are you going to conduct your research? How are you going to do it? When you're going to analyze your data, and why you get certain results. And we will also look in more detail the need for research, the objective of having research. There are many types of research, whether you are going to do fundamental research, you are going to do exploratory research, you're going to do applied research, or what we call it as the prototype research, or further research, depending on where your research knowledge or research stages. And we will also look into the concept of research, different type of research and its methodologies, the classifications of research, and sequences in conducting research. Of course, when we talk about research, many people have many ways of doing research. So in our class, I will expose to you some of best practices, okay, the way that you are going to conduct research in more appropriate manner. And then the next topic, we're going into the how to conduct literature survey. Of course, when we want to do literature survey, we need to understand what is it a literature survey. Is it just a collection of work being done by other people, or you just report what have been discovered by other people, and basically how to use those information, okay, And in this topic, there are several subtopics to be covered. Overview of literature survey, okay, research scope, need for literature survey, why do you need to conduct literature survey, and what are the efficient methods of referring relevant scientific literature. So basically, typical postgraduate students, they will be tracked in terms of trying to get what are the best literature that they need to perform. How much literature is enough for your dissertation or your research study? So this question will be answered in this particular topic, literature survey. And then we move on into the topic number 3, which is called selection of research modules, okay, where we will look into how to identify problem identification, criteria for selecting researchable problem, identifying variables, evaluating problems, and we will get to know what is hypothesis and how to make full use of hypothesis. So in this particular topic, you are going to do some exercise in terms of trying to resolve a few items under the selection of research module. And when we move on into the 4th topic, the research design, this is where you understand the development theory plan of a research design, okay, and try to understand the standard design testing, the measurement basis, how much sampling do you need to take, the primary and secondary data collection, and safety aspect in research. The 5th and the 6th topic is about data analysis. The first one is on quantitative data analysis, where we are going to look into the quantitative analysis method, okay, analysis and data construction. We are going to look into development and hypothesis testing. Earlier we been introduced what is hypothesis and how to write hypothesis, and over here how are we going to test the hypothesis that we already developed. And then we are going to look into the introduction to statistical research software. There are so many research software available, okay, to be used, and I will try to introduce some of them which is relevant to your level of study. And then regression and projection method. And then the next one is on qualitative data analysis, where compared to quantitative, qualitative is much more abstract, right? But there are methods to analyze the data in terms of the documentation, the concept, recording, and categorization, where you are going to learn on how to do the relationship inspection and the display of data, how do you portray your data, and conclusion confirmation, as well as the reflectivity. Okay, depending on the methodology that you choose, whether you're going to do experiments, you're going to do numerical analysis, or you're going to do survey, it depends on what is your methodology. So it will later on be being decided whether you're going to conduct qualitative data analysis or quantitative data analysis. And then we move into thesis writing. Even though in your program you're going to do dissertation, basically I will explain to you what is the expectation for a dissertation for a master program, and then compared to a master thesis writing, as well as a PhD thesis writing. So we are going to look at the overall thesis overview, the thesis structure in terms of the dissertation, and then we also going to look into what are the best way to present your findings in terms of the viva voce. Of course, in your master of innovation, you are not going to have a viva, but you're going to have your master thesis or master dissertation presentation. And good oral presentation under pressure, of course, this is just a matter of time. You're going to be under pressure because of the time constraint, and how are you going to perform when you're going to undergoes that particular situation. And public speaking training, right? Of course, when how the do and don'ts when you want to present your dissertation later on. Preparation for presentation materials, whether how many slides do you need, how many minutes are being provided, of course, writing a progress report, a journal publication, as well as the conference or seminar proceedings. Okay, we will look at the tips of do and don'ts in thesis writing, as well as the oral presentation. And then we will also look at the study matrices. What we can say about this is about the differences of publications of ISI index and Scopus index, these citation index journals, the Web of Science, the impact factor of journals. There are quartiles of journals, as well as the H indexes of authors. So I will introduce this to you so that you will understand what are the requirements to submit to journals, for example, high quality journals, as well as why do we need to attend conferences, okay, whether those are requirements for you to graduate from the program. That will be touched later on in this particular topic. Not to forget, the topic number 9 is on ethics, okay, engineering research ethics. You cannot run away about having ethical methods of doing research, okay, in terms of the integrity or in terms of the research rights of your team members. We will also touch on plagiarism. The software that we are going to use is Turnitin. So I will explain to you how it works and why is it important on not to just copy and paste from other people, and the publishing protocol, for example, like how to put the names of authors, who's going to be the first author, who's going to be the corresponding authors, who's going to be the what you call it as the co-authors in your publication. And we are going to touch on the intellectual properties in terms of ethics, okay, research ethics. Of course, we are not going to go into the detail of what is intellectual properties. I believe this is being covered in another course, innovation commercialization, and then in terms of the patent requirement for ethics, as well as commercial values that are coming from research. And the final topics is on thesis assessment method or your dissertation assessment method. What are the requirements by UPM? All right. Example of previous assessment. What are being assessed? How are you going to get good grades in terms of techniques to gain excellent assessment score? So I will expose to you in terms of the requirements, so that for those who are taking their part A dissertation this semester, so you will get to know the requirements, and then for those who are going to take the dissertation later on, so you will experience that later in your dissertation part A next semester. Okay, those are the 10 topics that we are going to cover within these 14 weeks. It looks that there are too many things to learn, but as you go along the topics, as well as the exercise and activities that we are going to embark, you will find out that it will be guided through like a modular, meaning that you're going to do for example, like having the title of your dissertation, and then we are going to look into the literature survey. You're going to do problem statement, crafting your hypothesis, how to write objective, how to choose methodology, and how to report results, and finally the conclusion. So in summary, This particular course, research methodology, will expose you in terms of the research design, how to conduct research, disseminating research findings through thesis or journals or any other publication. In terms of the learning outcomes, so since our program is also outcome-based education, so we cannot run away on learning outcomes. So just for your information, for each of our topics, you will have specific learning outcome for the topics. But these 3 learning outcomes, what we call it as the course learning outcome, is the general learning outcome that you're going to gain through this particular course. The first one is at the end of this course, this research methodology course, you're going to be able to elaborate the fundamental principle of research methodology and apply the right skill for effective research. So the taxonomy level is level 5. It's a very high taxonomy level. So we expect that you'll be able to elaborate fundamental principle, meaning that how are you going to elaborate the fundamental principle? Basically by showing through the activities as well as the assignment that I'm going to provide to you. Okay, meaning that if you can able to attain all the outcomes through the activities, you are already achieving this course outcome number 1. And then course outcome number 2 is you should be able to determine the suitable research design for your research project. Okay, sorry. Right. So basically, you are, for those who are taking part A dissertation, you are going to embark the research design for your part A. For those who are going to take part A next semester, this particular semester, your first semester, is basically like a test ground where you are going to do all the groundwork before you go into your part A. Okay, and then the last course outcome is you should be able to prepare research outcome report in a scholarly publication and journal. So from this, the last course outcome, I will give you an assignment to do a review paper. So I will provide you with suitable topics. Probably the topics can come from you, or the topic can come from our thematic. There will be theme that I'm going to introduce, and at the end of this particular course, you're going to prepare a literature review paper. Okay. And then I need to show to you the mapping of the course outcome against the program outcome of this particular program. And this Master of Innovation and Engineering Design, we have 6 program outcome. I'm very sorry that I can only obtain Malay translation of the program outcome. Later, when I get this the English translation from Dr. Faisal, I will replace this as the English translation. So basically, from all the 3 course outcome, it is being mapped against the 6 program outcome of the program. So PO number 1, number 2, number 4, and number 6, which is knowledge. Okay, tools meaning that you're going to be introduced with research methodology tools from our best practice, and you're going to be able to use it, right? And then ethics, as at the same time lifelong learning. Okay, so in terms of the assessment, of course, some of you are full-time working, and then you are doing your master program at the out of office hour, and we'll try our very best to complete the activities during the 3 hours, meaning that as I said, our class being allocated 3 hours, but normally my lecture will run around about 1 hour. It depends whether it's live session or the offline. Okay, it's not going to go beyond 1 hour. and you can make full use of the extra 2 hours to do the activities. Okay, so if you you can allocate 3 hours per week for this particular course, it's just enough. Okay, enough to get a good grades. Okay, I cannot promise you whether it's an A or B or whatever. So, but if you must allocate your time in order for you to be successful for this particular program, you have to plan your time wisely. Okay, so as I said, 3 hours is enough per week. Try to spend that 3 hours. If you cannot spend that 3 hours, you have to make up for that 3 hours. Okay, then you're going to have assignment, right? There will be one assignment on literature review or review paper. I will guide you how to write the review paper. Okay, and then of course the final examination, it also depends on our mode. Okay, in this syllabus there is final examination. I will discuss with Dr. Faisal, the program coordinator, whether we can run away from final exam. Okay, if he said yes, we can run away from the final exam, we will have another big assignment over there. If not, we are going to have final examination online. Okay, of course, contact information, you can email me, right? You can also find me in LinkedIn or in Facebook, and the offline videos will be recorded. Even today's lecture, I will save it and upload in the YouTube video. So feel free to, of course, subscribe. Okay, compulsory to subscribe, right? And then view the videos that I upload in YouTube. Most of the link will be pasted inside the WhatsApp as well as the Putra Blast. Treat Putra Blast as an official mode of communication, meaning that whatever things that I put in the WhatsApp, I will also put in the Putra Blast, because normally WhatsApp you don't keep it, you don't keep the all the files inside there, because I normally will just delete everything that already been posted there, because there's so many WhatsApp group available, and so I need to clear my phone. So the best way is that you refer the Putra Blast. I believe all of you have already managed to log in the Putra Blast, and you can see the YouTube link, you can see the files that being uploaded, and also announcement made with regards to this particular course. Okay, that's all for the briefing about the course, and thank you very much, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.